Hey, are you there? Henry McClure Live, Kansas real estate broker. And let me tell you the difference between myself and a realtor. And so I'm a licensed real estate broker by the state of Kansas. This is my 45th year in real estate. But today I'm not a member of the Topeka Board of Realtors. And the Topeka Board of Realtors is a very fine organization full of 450 great people here in Topeka, Kansas. And I say these are the leaders in the community, and they're the ones that ought to be doing the economic development decisions because we're the people, they're the people, me too, that I just can't use the designation realtor. But I would like to form a commercial division at the Board of Realtors and be amongst them. Uh, I guess I'm a penny pincher because I don't use the multiple listing service for my listings because I use my media, my Crexy blogs. I create my own internet posts. I put stuff up on Google. I have Google Ads advertise. So anyway, what am I getting at? I'm getting at the difference between um, people that get paid. Well, and I wasn't going to get political, but basically, I compete against Go Topeka because they are a commercial real estate company, and in fact, it's even more prevalent when you start talking about the AT&T building. But that aside, so I have to work a little harder. And what's wrong with that? I'm not the victim. The taxpayers are the victim. Oh, wait a minute, I pay taxes. Hey, wait a minute, can you hear me now? Maybe we ought to get that. Maybe I ought to start over. Well, hey, I want to tell you about a great meeting that I had with the city of Topeka regarding the Evening Side project. Yes, like 99% awesome. I've got my new engineers in there. Um, Driggs, Buck was on the call, and Colton. Good people. It's nice to get some new blood in this town. Let's spice it up. Let's shake it up. So yes, and one thing I always like is how professional Riley Ringgold is about uh, commenting about being a licensed real estate agent and a realtor. I admire Riley. He's like a son-in-law, His wife's like a daughter. Okay, onward and upward. So if you are southbound on Gage Boulevard and you come to about 35th Street, and if you take a right and go westbound to Evening Side, take a left and go down Evening Side till it dead ends. Okay? So you're basically right there, you're at what would be 37th and Evening Side, which is it's the northwest corner of the track that I've got at 37th and Gage. But this is Evening Side. So there's a stream buffer that goes through there that kind of cuts this little over 2 acre tract, right? And so we're going to go through the platting process next. I'm getting the bid from the engineer, and I'm probably just going to, if I can get everything approved, I just want to go full tilt and get the project teed up and ready to go. So we're going to have a 6-lot subdivision there, and it will be nice because the southerly properties will face a stream buffer, and then the rest of the property is a wide open field, and who knows when that will be developed. But I've got some preliminary estimates, real rough, that the cul-de-sac there. So I'm still doing a lot of homework. It's in the process, but if you're looking for a home site, hey, how's this? Call your local realtor. Call your agent. If you've been dealing with an agent, call them and say, "Hey, would you call Henry and talk to him about the evening side?" You can call me directly, but hey, let's give everybody some business, right? That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it. When I've owned buildings and I've paid full commissions, but hey, this one you're going to have to split the commission with me. Hey, let's argue about the commission. But you can have your broker call me or your agent, or you can call me directly. And hey, if there's a home builder out there, I'd probably carry the lots until we sold the house. If you want to do a spec house, the nice thing about this project is they're in a better guy to deal with than me when it comes to this. I'm very flexible. I'd help with financing, whatever. If there was ever a deal to be made that's out of the box, thinking outside the box, it's this evening side project. And it was relatively, man, after dealing with the city, they don't need no stinking consultants. We got good people to work for us. Right there. We got good people. And it kind of gives me hope to quit grousing over certain things. Just get in there and make more deals. Right? So that's evening side. Just a little quick history on Henry McClure. I've been licensed in California and Florida. And those are the first 2 states that required having a real estate license, if you didn't know. And I'm pretty sure you have to have one now in every state. But I got licensed in California when we became a public company, when I worked for the Macerich Company. And then I was a broker down in Florida. Well, I actually did. I did side deals when I was in California. And what I loved about California, it's an escrow state. So for a guy like me that hates paperwork, I could just take the buyer and the seller into the escrow company. They basically write up the escrow instructions, or one or the other of them write the escrow instructions up, then go get the other one to sign it. It was perfect. Now, one thing about me is I do all my business as a transaction broker, which makes life a little easier. That's why if you feel like you need representation, call your agent. Man, there's so many good real estate people in town. Marshall Barber, Doug Bassett, Caldwell Banker, the Greenbrier people, Cheryl Shepard, Abby, the Wastells, just to name a few. Riley Ringgold, the team Ringgold. A lot of good people. You know who I like is that Kelly Higgins. I like her social media, and I think she'd be fun to have in the studio and have a podcast. You know, we were talking the other day. I had to tell my friend Tyler Weibel that I was working with. You know, one day Tyler looked at me. He goes, "You look perplexed," and I go, "I got a lot of deals," and we wrote them all up there. And then I like Kelly's 80-20 rule. You know, focus. I got some stuff going on in Emporia. Got a lot of stuff going on. And I'll tell you what's helping me get more listings is my media. So I got to keep posting, got to tell you what's going on. So we so far I've been 99% real estate. But I was just talking about the other real estate company that's taxpayer funded. That's Go Topeka. Taxpayer funded, taxpayer subsidy. Think about it. $2.5 million in salaries, and they don't even have to make a deal. I'd like to get James Bolton in here to because we could talk about the diversity, equity, and inclusion. James and I could. Poor Israel. He's got $1.1 million he can't even give away. Well, anyway, back to real estate, but they're a commercial real estate company. Just, it's the facts. It's the truth. Having that hydrogen water, that is so good. Well, what time is it? Man, look what I have to work extra hours because I don't get a $2.5 million salary. Imagine getting a having a guarantee of 2.5 million and you don't even have to make a deal. And you really don't even have to account for the money. Now that's deal making. Okay, so if you're looking for a single family house, call your realtor, call me. Hey, what's really nice too? Hey, my friend Robert Williams is on. Yeah, it's not midnight yet, but I'm working on burning some of that oil because we're drill baby drill. But I got my daughter a new book on multifamily acquisitions. I'm going to teach her how to underwrite multifamily projects. She's been working for Landmark Realty. She started off working for the partnership that I was involved with on College Hill. And then she worked for Lou McGinnis. And she didn't want to work for Lou McGinnis. But I said, stay there. There's providence in chaos. And I'm telling you, it was not, just a few days later, she got swooped up by Landmark, had a new job. She's in Kansas City doing a good job. But Robert Beardsley wrote this. I may read this real quick. It looks like an easy read. But what's interesting is commercial real estate's just the same. The numbers are a little bigger. And in some cases, it's easier to ask a guy for $1 million than $100,000. And sometimes it's easier to ask the guy for 100 million than $1 million. If the numbers work out, it doesn't matter. It's all about making the numbers work out. My good friend Joe's always sending me stuff from that Grant Cardone. I don't know much about Grant, but I do like his style. And I guess what I could start doing is having MD edits my videos to cut down. And that's really what I need to do. I need to start making my commercial clip at the front, and then so when I start babbling on, it's not tied into the whole thing. Instead of starting and stopping my video. So MD, let's start doing that. I'll give we'll do a secret signal, but I got to tell you, MD is helping me grow my YouTube channel. I was looking at it, and the amount of time. So Facebook is more of we're going to stop here and see what you're doing. But I don't mind you being bored. It's the attention span. I can't keep people's attention that long. And then if I start talking about Donald J. Trump, you lose part of the population, not the majority, because he did win the popular vote. Oh, and the Electoral College. And it was a mandate for change. At least a guy knows that there's only a man and a woman. And I've always said this. I've always felt it, that DEI is the beginning of discrimination. The minute you've got a committee deciding about diversity, equity, and inclusion, well, they're the ones that are discriminating on the rest of us. And I told that Israel guy that works at the other commercial real estate company that's funded by the taxpayers, oversaw by Pee Wee Herman and Miss Congeniality, that old white guys someday will will be the ones will get grants and inclusion. And something, it's kind of funny. All right, got a little hydrogen water. So we'll change the way the videos are done, so that way we can keep it real on the first part, and I can babble on the second. So where evening side dies into where 37 should be, we've got some, and then I've got 37th and Gage, and I'm ready to build some apartments on that. I've got a couple of players for the commercial corner, but it's time to build some multifamily, because where everything is with multifamily, all we have to do is come in here and put Lou McGinnis out of business. It's like there's that one guy. Remember Kent Lindemuth? He cornered the market on commercial real estate, and then I felt the guy was mean to his tenants. I tell you, I liked Kent, and I'll tell you why, because he's just as dumb as a fox. And I'll tell you who had to like him more was KS Commercial, because they were on the sales side. They got to buy all this stuff, man. Ride that wave. But that's like working for George Soros. That's my attempt at humor. Freedom of speech, baby. But I kind of made Kent angry one time when I was on the Board of Zoning Appeals, and then he never talked to me for a couple of years. But that's all right. Hey, don't forget that I've got space here for lease. Yeah, I was looking at this online drafting made this document. I don't know how Ryan Mowinkle got hooked up with that guy. Hey, did you know that I'm in the Glass Houses studio right now, which is part of the Ryan Mowinkle commercial empire of real estate? And just down the hallway, yeah, see that hallway right there? I've got 1,084 feet for lease. I'm going to go to Home Depot and get the paint, and we're going to get it cleaned up, pull out the nails, unscrew the screws, pull out all the pins, get the walls ready, paint them up. And if you come in tomorrow and say, I want to look at that space, I'll paint it whatever color you want. I guess for the right amount of money, we'll repaint it. But I'm going to go with my sister of a different mother said, go with sand. Paint it sand color. We'll go as neutral as we can. Oh, that pretty long day today. Back and forth from Lawrence. Went over to the chili parlor today for lunch. Had to pay off a bet. Old Brian Falk won a bet. Um, we had a trivia contest to guess where the trash cans were from, and the trash cans were from Westridge Mall. So he won a free chili lunch, compliments of the chili parlor in Little Russia. Did you know that I've got some plans to redevelop that whole area? And there's some opportunities over there. In fact, I've got some calls. I got some work to do there. I was noticing that some of the land around there is owned by the railroad, and I heard a friend of mine is got the connection with the railroad. So we got to dig into that. I guess I could get Dana Kay to call Warren. Well, because his friend Stuart Horsey is a Buffett billionaire, which is cool. Back he was buying Berkshire Hathaway when it's $300-400 a share. What a smart guy! But also Stuart was smart too because uh, not only did he ride the wave of Berkshire, he did that with a couple other companies and had some really good luck in the stock market. I'll never forget to my Macerich guys. Do you remember Mary Diamond? And I'll never forget, we were on a tour of See's Candy. And at the time, that was right at the time Berkshire bought See's Candy. And Mary Diamond said, you ought to look into Berkshire Hathaway stock. It's a going concern, man. It's a good company. And, they're Warren's model. Hey, Warren, if you're watching, you know, you could buy McClure real estate. Oh man, that's funny. Hey, I'm a sellout. Join the Berkshire Hathaway family of commercial real estate. Oh, I don't care who you are. That's funny. Oh man, it's good to laugh. I was with a friend today, and um, I just had to say, wait a minute. Here, stop. Hang on. Just breathe. And sometimes when you're helping somebody, you help yourself. And, I got to pause for a moment today to, what's important for me to worry about. Well, I'll tell you what, one thing I am worried about, I'm worried about Cash Patel getting uh, confirmed. And why not Bobby? Did you guys did you guys see Bernie Sanders yelling about onesies? And then you got you got Bobby telling, hey, Bernie, hang on a second. You're the largest. You accept more money from Big Pharma than anybody. Calling him on the carpet. And it's funny to see Bobby call Bernie, Bernie. And he's yelling about these onesies that babies wear. And what's wrong with being an anti vaxxer? You know, a vaccine's not the cure for everything. I mean, I'm sure I got a polio shot in my lifetime, and I'm sure I've had some vaccines, but I've never had a flu shot, and I've never had a COVID shot. So that's that. I'm hoping. I'm not going to say. Uh, if we need to repopulate the planet, it's time to get on that now. Why? Why I'm young, but what do they call us? Purebloods. Yes, sir. So I just got a notice here. What do I got going on? Well, what else? Man, if you were in the office, you could see what I've got going on. Got to get the lots on Harrison. Now, I just wrote a contract for 21st and Adams. Well, I didn't, but my lawyer wrote it. But I reviewed the contract. Now, a friend of mine asked me, why should we support the zoning at 21st and Adams? And I will be having coffee first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock. If you'd like to talk about it, come down to Julie's Coffee at 911 South Kansas Avenue, and I'll buy the first couple of cups of coconut coffee. I have to see how much money I have. I had to pay for my lunch today at the chili parlor. It was reasonable. I bought like a quart of chili and then ate some there, put some onions on it, and then took the rest home. So we've got interest from a C-store to go there, a convenience store. Local guy? I shouldn't be talking about it. It's none of my business. But there's also going to be some land left over for well, it is my business, but it's not my business to say who or what's going on. That's the confidence. I have a fiduciary relationship to the deal, and sometimes it's bad karma to talk about it until everybody signs it. But I'm going to have some multifamily land left over there after we replat that property. But we're going to get the zoning approved first, and then we'll go back and plat it. I didn't need to I didn't need to zone evening side because I'm leaving the R1 zoning the same. Let's see, what else do I got? So we got evening side. There's a project that we're calling the lofts at Madison that we got to get on. I've got some acreage out at on Meriden Road at about 54th Street out there by that power station that I got to sell. 44 acres out of the floodplain. I'd like to just really sell that a lot at a time. I got 80 acres up in Jefferson County. Of course, I got the 37th and Gage property. I got 20 acres out on the Wanamaker land. I got 44 acres I can talk about. I got some iLight property on 45th. Old Schlosky's is under contract. We got some basement storage kind of shop space down at 520. I think the Capital Journal's a great buy at 1.3 million. I got that lot behind Whataburger. So, I mean, what better retail space between Whataburger and uh, Chick-fil-A? I got to move this sign. Excuse me. I didn't move it enough. All right. Um, Marshall Barber's got that great space at 10th and Topeka. We got Fillmore sold. I got some land behind the Great Play. You know where the Great Play is up on the old YWCA or YMCA in North Topeka? I got some land behind that for sale. Craig McCullough's got all that land up on Rochester Road. And I'm telling you something. If I could get the group to let's redo how we do sewer benefit districts. And here's the first thing that you got to do. You got to give the developer the income off of the sewer. So not only do we put, if the city's going to make us install the sewer to get our development, we should at least be able to finance it with the income from the sewer fees. How's that? And that's another thing. We really got to make it easier for the developer to be able to do deals. If you want more housing deals, we've really got to redo, you know, maybe on certain projects you don't have to do sidewalks. There's places all over this community that don't have curb and gutter and sidewalks. Well, you know, if you're out developing in the hayfield, you know, maybe you can get along without sidewalks until there are sidewalks to hook into. All right, so we got all that land. Man, I'll tell you what, there's some great loft space. Do you know where the vendors market is downtown in like the old moving and storage place? You know, on Adams, along the, you know, the brick road that's falling apart brick by brick. You know, there was a fellow that was running for county commissioner that groused over that. Remember that guy? I would sure like to get the property at I think it's 508 Southwest 8th Street, where that awning's falling down. There's 1,000 feet upstairs and 1,000 feet downstairs. Trying to get that guy to do something. Well, that and some of the stuff you can't talk about because it's private. You know, you can't. Some of it is just not for broadcast. Not ready for prime time, right? It's just how it works sometimes. I guess if you walked in the office, you'd see the board. Well, a lot to do. I think I'm just going to have to break down and hire somebody, or at least find somebody that wants to know commercial real estate. You know, guys like me don't want to really hire anybody to go to work for us because you gotta want to do this job. You know, you it's like what do you want to be when you grow up? But people that real estate has always been a really good way to amass wealth and and maybe investing in real estate has changed such a great way. But today, multifamily is where it's at. That's where all the money is today. retail is, retail's trying to still figure out what retail's going to be. And anyway, retail's cyclical anyway. So just because things come and go, there is a certain point in time when your town never grows. Well, it's just hard to attract people here. And, we never had the ability to do what Simon, when I was with Mace Rich, what Simon did out there at Wanamaker and 21. But I'm telling you, it was good at the time. You got 300,000 feet of fashion. He brought, they brought Dillard's and Jones Store. And Penny's was able to grow in size, plus own part of the mall. Sears was able to grow in size and make good deals. So the problem with Westridge has just been that there's 5 owners of it. But Cody's going to bring it all together and make it happen. And it will be a great mixed use project, and it will be great for advisors that sell. The property to keep an eye on is his old office, on McClure Road. Yeah, on McClure Road. I love that. Because that was a great retail. Remember Ed Marling? That was a great space. And that car dealer over there does a lot of sales. So, I don't know what he has planned for that. But I'm sure Mike Morris and Ed Eller and those fellas are talking to Cody about that deal. So a lot happening. You got to make it happen. That's why, and you got to want to make it happen. But I got a glimmer of hope. I appreciated that call. I'm not accustomed to the Teams and Zoom calls and things like that, but it sure is handy. It sure is handy. So I want to thank the city for helping me on evening side, and I guess I could call it evening side and 37. But we'll have six lots down there. We'll get 37th and Gage rocking. And I've talked to the point where I'm getting parts. So I'm going to have some hydrogen water and call it a night. Because I got to get up early. I got a big meeting with a big shot. Telling you. Y'all have a good night. I love you.